guys, a little bit different kind of content today. As you've seen in the first clip here, we got pulling truck out. Now, I haven't introduced it to this channel at all, but I've had this truck for about 7 years now and use it for Tug-of-truck, which is, for some of you that don't know, is where you hook two trucks together back to back, usually on concrete, and basically pull each other across the line to determine the winner, best 2 out of 3. Tomorrow is actually a Tug-of-truck called WAPAK Tug Fest, and this would be the first time I've had this truck out since like 2019, because all last year I was building this car, which that one still doesn't have a motor in it. Been too busy prepping this thing for this week, trying to get it ready to go. Sat, had to change oil, drain the gas, clean the carburetor, just regular maintenance. So first of all, I'll tell you a little bit about this truck. It's an 83 Chevy, has a Dana 60 front end. Front end's all built, chromoly shafts, chromoly joints, spool. It's got basically almost the best of everything. In the back here we got a different frame, which I made this frame a couple years ago. It's basically the same as the Impala. It's 4-link coilovered, basically your drag race suspension, but in a pulling truck. Tranny coolers, yeah, there's 3 of them. When we're pulling back to back, tranny gets really hot, so it takes those 3 coolers just to keep it at a decent temperature, and sometimes it still gets hot. We got our, it's pretty messy in here, but we got just your normal ratchet shifter, you know, all your gauges and your switches and everything. And under the hood, which again is dirty, it's a 496 big block Chevy. Forged crank rods, forged pistons, aftermarket heads, solid roller cam. It's got some pretty decent parts in it. It's also got a turbo 400 that's fully built, all billet internals. We got hydraulic steering, hydraulic assist steering. You can see that, kind of see the ram right in there. So I use this truck for, I've had it for the past 7 years, and basically up until 2 years ago when I started drag racing again, and this thing's kind of sat on the side and I haven't really done a whole lot with it. We're breaking it out this weekend. There's basically multiple different classes this truck runs in. Our classes go by weight: 5,500 pound, 6,500 pound, 8,500 pound. Then we have, those are all DOT tires, DOT tire classes. You have to have a 30-inch hitch height. And then we have a 7,500 outlaw class, which we get to run these bad boys. Basically, you can run any tire you want. So we got a set of late model tires here on 8-lug rims. So enough about me yakking about this thing. I'll back it out, put it on a trailer, get my tires loaded up, and head to Tug Fest tomorrow. Also, as you can see, this rear frame is, you know, completely different than the factory rear frame. Well, if you see down there, it's bolted together with a kind of a hitch receiver style, and then it's also got bolts running down the side. Well, the reason for that is I have another frame, the original factory frame, that slides on the back of this chassis. And the reason I made it quick change is because I can go from, depending on if I'm allowed to run the other factory chassis or not, which you're probably wondering, well, it's a factory chassis, why wouldn't you be able to run it? Well, we'll just go over there and look at the other chassis, and you'll see why. It's basically, there's not a lot of rules in Tug-of-truck. The rules are 30-inch hitch height, DOT tires. I mean, you can run any motor, any setup you want to. Well, when there's no rules, might as well go all out. So I'll show you this other frame here in a second. Alright, walking over in this jungle here. I haven't had time to mow over there. It's my other property. But here it is. And you're asking yourself, why is there two tires? Well, there's actually two rear axles in this factory frame. I put this third axle, or the secondary axle, in the back so I could have a 6x6. Basically, you know, this one's quick change. I can still change, slide it on and off. Has a 208 transfer case that's flipped upside down and flipped backwards, and the drive shaft runs to that back axle. And there's a slip drive shaft that goes in between the transfer case and the other transfer case. Well, the problem is this setup worked very, very, very well. Well, just like any motorsports or any sport, you start doing good, start winning a lot, people start complaining because they think it's unfair. A lot of people didn't want to cut up their trucks to do this. Me, really didn't care. It was just a rusty truck. So that's why we're not running that this weekend. Loaded on the trailer, did a quick little burnout. And for the other questions, I know that everybody's gonna ask, why is it camo on one side and pink camo-ish on the other side? Well, all I gotta say is just be different. Can't be the same as everybody else. Might as well be different. Can't just blend in with everybody else. I would change the color of it, but the truck's basically got a name for itself now, so everybody knows this truck. and if I changed it, then it wouldn't be the same old truck. Well, it's the next day here, Saturday. All loaded up, everything's tied down. Got all my tires with me for all my different classes. So it's time to head over to Tug Fest.
These ladies right here have a good time.
right, guys. Did pretty good tonight, but she broke. Twisted the drive shaft right off.
Alright, quick announcement. We found a wall.
Alright, guys, we're back. What happened was, ended up snapping the drive shaft, as you seen that last clip. And if we go around here, that transfer case mount, snapped it clean in half. And I don't know if it snapped first and then put a drive shaft in a bind, or when that snapped, it snapped the mount. Unsure. So obviously it was hooking pretty hard to break that. So this truck, with the way it torques up and the way the chassis twists and everything like that, and I got tired of putting motor mounts in it, so I stopped. And obviously that was probably a bad idea. I got a set of aftermarket ones that I need to put in, but that'll be a later project. I got like another month before this truck goes back out. So if you would like, subscribe, tell your friends, and we'll see you on the next one.